the McClatchy collection is not a collection, it's a series of collections coming from different values. Some are corporate or business records of the company. Some are records of or collections that various family members had amassed on areas of their own interest. But the size and the scale of it is what's so impressive and so enormous. At any one time down at the Discovery Museum, probably 25% of all the objects on display come from that collection. That kind of gives you a sense of how big it is. This collection came to us as a result of the death of Eleanor McClatchy. Now, Eleanor had an interest in a lot of areas. She was interested in the history of printing. She was interested in the history of the California Gold Rush. She was interested in the history of newspapers in California. She was interested in early cartography, both in and around California as well as in the world. And to that extent, for example, there was a phenomenon for a while where California was thought to be an island on the maps of the world. And there were maybe 350 of these maps, different maps produced over a couple of centuries. And she had 35 of them. That's pretty impressive. That's 10% of the maps that were done. She had her side of the collection. Other family members had other interests in their collection. The McClatchy newspaper collection contains the business records of the company. It contains all the letters and correspondence of C.K. McClatchy and his brother, and that's 250,000 letters. It deals with the business of running a newspaper, and a lot of people don't really understand how complex running a newspaper can be and what some of the issues that they deal with. Everything from disgruntled customers who didn't get the paper delivered, to people who didn't like the way their ad ran, to people who didn't like the news of the day and didn't like where their ads were in position to that news. And it is an interesting business because in the newspaper business, from the beginning of newspapers, advertising is part of the game along with selling the paper. And you see in a case like this is a tin sign that the Bee produced in about 1900, 1905, something like that, maybe even as late as 1910. And this is a solicitation for advertisements in the paper, and it shows the power of what advertisements mean to them. Signs like this were placed not only at the Bee, but in a number of locations throughout the community. This allowed people within the community to place an ad easily and with the Bee without having to have any trouble of walking to the Bee to do it. If you think about a 19th century newspaper, the ads were on the front page and the news were on the back pages. In the 20th century paper, ads become, instead of little small blocks like in the classified section, they become whole pages. With the rise of department stores and automobile sales, they get page-size ads. And then all of a sudden, the newspaper business is really about advertising.